In today's video, yet another weekly condo market update where we look at condominium prices by bedroom number in the city of Toronto into December compared to November and look at some trends. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. Feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review if you happen to enjoy this video. And you can find my contact information in the description box with regards to my Gmail, my Instagram, and my office. Feel free to get in touch with me if you have any further questions about anything discussed in this video, or if you have any general inquiries whatsoever with regards to the GTA/Toronto real estate market. Today's video, as I said off the top, it's another weekly condo market update where we're going to look at condo prices into December, officially 22 days into December, by bedroom number. And we're going to take a look at these prices compared to November. Off the top, let me preface something. The reason I'm not looking at year over year in this particular video is, first and foremost, I do year over year in a lot of videos. And number two is because year over year will be somewhat misleading in nature. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but December of last year, and I chronicled this at the moment in time, December of last year was really a bottom for the Toronto condominium market. November as well. Things really substantially improved in January and reaching quite a bit of highs in February and 2 weeks into March, kind of lasting through April. But in December and November, the condominium market in Toronto was struggling. Thus, all the numbers we would use to do a year-over-year comparison would result in substantial growth in terms of average sold price per square foot, a significant dip in days on market. And sure, that would be interesting to talk about, but as I've made clear many times in the past, last November and December were a particularly special circumstance in terms of one of the first times ever in the history of Toronto real estate, at least within the last 2 decades, where it was kind of a legitimate buyer's market, not just in the fact that it was a fair market. It was legitimately a very buyer-friendly market, and prices were very low. Months of inventory was high, days on market was high. So here we're going to only commit to month over month and see from November to December how prices have moved by bedroom number. Taking a look at 3 distinctive areas: Toronto at large, so the entire municipality of Toronto, looking at North York, C7 and C14, and obviously downtown Toronto, C1 and C8. As always, if you have any questions with regards to what these codes refer to or any confusion, refer to the TREP maps. There's a link of it in the description box. Let's start with the city of Toronto at large. This accounts for every single condominium sale from Etobicoke to Scarborough to downtown to North York to Midtown. Now, taking a look at the numbers both in December and November, and once again, we're only accounting for 21 full days of data in terms of sold data in December versus 30 obviously in November. Thus, in part, that is why for every single property type in terms of condominium bedroom number, as we can see, we have charted here 0 bedrooms, so bachelor studios, 1 bed, 1+1, 2 and 2+1. For every single type, the sales in December are less than the number of sales that occurred in November. So in part, once again, that owes its explanation to the fact that we're only 21 days into December, whereas in November we have full months access. But that's not the entirety of the explanation. Even if we were fully 30 days into December, at the pace in which we're going, sales will definitely end up being far less in volume than was the case in November. And some of this is very normal and seasonal. Supply is quite limited, especially in December towards the holidays and towards the new year. And supply generally does start to improve, especially with regards to condominiums, sometime in mid-January into February. But although diminished supply is once again quite normal towards the end of the year, this year in particular, supply, and although diminished supply is quite normal towards the end of the year, especially in December, this year more than any other year, truly, supply is a bigger issue, meaning the diminished supply this year is more diminished than 2019, 2018, 2017, obviously skipping over 2020, where supply was ample due to the buyer's market nature of the Toronto condo market at the time, right? Part of a sign of a buyer's market is when there's ample supply and not enough demand. So we're putting that year aside because, once again, it was the exception to the rule and not the rule itself. But the prime example of this is with regards to 1+1s. As we can see, in November of 2021, the average sold price of 1+1s was $661,000 with reference to 527 sales. And now comparing that to December, 21 full days into December, we're only at 248 sales. And in this case, sales are a very good sign, not the perfect sign, but a very, very good sign of listings. Meaning sales figures are typically a good indication of listing figures. That's just with regards to sales. When we look at average price with regards to, once again, as an example, 1+1's average price is up by a factor of $15,000 to $17,000, where once again, last November, the average sold price was $661,000, whereas in December, the following month, 21 full days into it, it is at $678,000. The biggest increase in terms of average sold price is with one bedroom, where in November, the average sold price was at $505,000. Thus far into December, we're looking at $545,000. And continuing the same line of thought with 2-bedroom condominiums, the average sold price is up by $25,000 once we compare November sold prices to December sold prices in the city of Toronto at large. You might be alarmed by the average sold price of 2 bedrooms. You might look at it and be like, wow, 530, 540, 560, that's far too low. How does a 2-bedroom cost far less in terms of average sold price? In terms of average sold price than a 1+1 or 1. Well, here I actually went through every transactions, and here the number can be a little bit misleading, right? That's why you have to look on individual transactions, as I try my best to do, look at every single transaction. Sometimes it's easier said than done. But what you had was a lot of older 2-bedrooms in the west side of the city, in the east side of the city, in less desirable areas that really sold for very low price points, for $200,000, $300,000. These are not desirable buildings, not desirable areas, very high maintenance per square foot, very much so depreciated buildings that you can get really cheap, right? And these 2-bedroom sales obviously have an impact on the average sold price that carry down the average. However, bachelors are pretty much around the same price range to end out the year in December, and 2+1s are actually quite a bit down. Thus, in summary, what we see with the city of Toronto, 1-bedroom condominiums, 1+1s and 2s are what have shown the greatest increase in average sold price into December, whereas the smallest and the largest options, so bachelors and 2+1s, have either remained steady at an even level, wherein we're looking at bachelors around the same price range or only a difference of $2,000, and with regards to 2+1s, an actual drop in average sold price. But with regards to the 2+1s being down substantially, we have to make a couple of things clear. 2+1s, and I always say this, the numbers with regards to 2+1s can be a little misleading because 2+1s have the most expansive range in terms of the spectrum of size and luxury to maybe middle of the pack to economy, right? You have a lot of economy 2+1s, which obviously we're going to run you more than 1+1s and 2s, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, they're still quite affordable for 2+1s. And then you have a lot of 2+1s that sell for $5 to $6 million. More than any other condominium bedroom number, 2+1s have the widest range because you have a lot of penthouses that are actually only 2+1 that are 1,800 square feet, 1,600 square feet. And then you have a lot of 2+1s that are, once again, sure, pricier than other bedroom numbers, but still more economical, around 900 square feet, 1,000 square feet, much cheaper than obviously the penthouses that are upwards of 2,000 square feet, and in certain cases sell for $4.55 million. Thus, I wouldn't put too much stock into this drop of 2+1 month over month. But what I would put stock in is bachelors. Bachelors have remained very steady, and we actually saw the biggest jump in demand for bachelors earlier in the year towards the end of the summer market, particularly with regards to downtown, because that's where bachelors are most ample, going into the fall months, so September and October. That's when the biggest jump for bachelors occurred. The increase in average sold price for 1-bedrooms and 1+1s is no surprise to me. And the analysis obviously is going to apply to downtown as well, although we're looking at the city of Toronto at large. Let's now transition into looking at the downtown numbers, putting that up on the screen screen for me to explain a little bit more on 1+1s and 1s. Here we see, much like the Toronto at large chart, the downtown numbers, which are obviously included in the Toronto at large chart, reflect much of the same pattern in the sense of 1-bedrooms and 1+1s are up and bachelors are around the same area as they were in November. Namely, the average sold price of a Toronto condominium of a 1-bedroom in downtown Toronto, according to the Downtown Toronto market, in November was $588,000 for a 1-bedroom condominium in downtown Toronto, and around $711,000 for a 1+1 in downtown Toronto. However, in December, with regards to the downtown Toronto condo market, we see a significant jump, more so for 1-bedrooms, but on both fronts. Wherein with regards to 1+1s, we're looking at $722,000, and with regards to 1-bedroom condominiums, we're looking at $625,000, if memory serves me correct. Now, this is the quantitative side of things. I always do a combination of quantitative and qualitative. But on the qualitative side, my experience completely maps onto the quantitative side of things. What I noticed was a lot of demand, a lot of sudden rush of demand for middle tier condominium options, which obviously 1+1s and 1s are the greatest example of. And this is something I've chronicled in my most recent videos as well. There clearly was within the city of Toronto a sudden rush of demand for 1+1s and 1-bedroom or condominiums, with a lot of buyers, not a lot of investors, believe it or not, more so end users looking to purchase before the end of the old year, before 2022. And I've actually spoke to clients about this. Sorry if you've spoken to me in person and this is repeat information for you. On 3 different counts, I saw properties that received, in one instance, 15 offers, another instance 17 offers, another instance 8 offers, and all of them were 1s or 1+1s within the last 2 weeks. Thus, as a result, I saw the surge of demand on the ground as well that corresponds perfectly to the numbers. And that's not always the case, right? Quantitative and the qualitative do not always correspond. But once again, another trend that has continued as we see the sales figure on all fronts. Sales are way down into December. And to further elaborate, as I put up the North York numbers now, the increase in price has partially, if not wholly, to do with the fact that there's a limited supply. Because although supply diminished from November to December, supply was already very low in November compared to October in terms of condominiums, not all property types. With regards to all properties, supply was actually a little bit further up, because even though supply dipped from November to December, demand kind of remained the same, right? Demand did not operate based upon that seasonality, right? Think about it. The examples I gave you previously, when there is 15 offers put on a property, after the property is sold, there's now 14 buyers still active in the market. And even, let's say 4 of them get discouraged and they put off their buying plans for the next year. 5 of them, let's say, there's still 9 buyers active into the market. So the reason prices have jumped, particularly for the middle tier options, is because supply diminished greatly, but there were buyers that were involved in the market in November that continued their buying adventure, I guess, for lack of a better word, in this market into December. There's no bachelors that sold in North York, obviously, because bachelors and studio units are very much so mainly native to downtown Toronto. You do have some in Midtown, but even far less in that sense. Some more so popping up now in Mimico, maybe in a Etobicoke condominium market, but the majority of the bachelor transacting occurs in downtown Toronto. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Let me know if you have any further questions. Feel free to ask them in the comments or get in touch with me with regards to my Gmail, my office information, and my Instagram in the description box. And feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review if you happen to enjoy this video. As always, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.